2024 has now become the 9th consecutive year of positive returns for the Indian equities, and that's the record. In fact, 24 was a year of record in many ways. The highest fundraise in a single year, the ever-growing domestic pool, and so on. But the big question is, what is in store for 2025? Will the rally sustain? Will the mid and small cap continue to outperform? These are the questions in the minds of the investors. So now, crystal gazing is always a challenge, but CNBC-TV18 has reached out to the biggest market experts to bring to you an Outlook 2025, the biggest market poll for the new year. In fact, it was a poll across 61 participants, including fund managers, HNIs, as well as institutional dealers. So let's begin with the first and the most important question. What kind of return should investors expect in 2025? Majority of the respondents expect a single to mid double-digit return in 25. Only 11% of the respondents expect a negative return on the Nifty next year. In that case, will the broader markets continue to outperform in 25? Surprisingly, 50% of the respondents believe that 25 will be a year of large caps. Only a small percentage are still betting on micro cap and small cap stocks, which brings to the next big question, and that is the biggest theme to bet on in 2025. Here there is a surprise. First surprise, financial has emerged as the biggest theme to bet on for the next year, and that is despite the macro challenges that the sector is facing and the fact that they have been an underperformer. The other surprise was the stellar outperformer of 24, which was capital goods. That's been considered as the least preferred bet going into 2025. We spoke about the returns and the big themes. Now, what's going to drive all these returns? And the near consensus answer is earnings, earnings, and earnings. That's going to be a dominant factor for the Indian equities to outperform going into 2025. There was a small portion who also believe that the Trump policies could be interesting to watch out for. Now, we spoke about the micros and the themes. Let's focus on some of the macros as well. Q2 was a bit of a shocker as far as the GDP figure is concerned, and after that, many on the streets have trimmed down their growth forecast for the country for next year. But will the growth surprise on the upside? We asked that question to majority. Most of them believe that the GDP growth will be between 6.25 to 6.5% in 2025. Only a mere 3% expect the growth to fall below 6%. So that's the big GDP growth forecast. So what's going to drive the GDP growth? And that's where the consensus seems to be, and that is the government spending. 77% of the respondents believe that government spending, which was lackluster in the first half of this year, will pick up in 2025. So that's going to be the big driver as far as the GDP growth is concerned. The other important factor was the rupee. We had a record year as far as rupee is concerned. So we asked the question as to will that be a spoil sport into 25 as well. Most of the experts believe that the rupee is going to be range between 85 to 87 a dollar, while a small segment expects the currency to appreciate below 85 as well going into 2025. Also, we saw a new RBI governor taking charge, and that the first policy will be in 2025. So we asked the experts what to expect in terms of RBI action. It's a divided house there. 50% believe that the first rate cut from RBI will be in the Q4 of this financial year. However, a small portion believes that the stretch line could be as late as the third quarter of FY26. So that's the RBI action. Indeed, if the RBI has to cut rates, then how much is the rate cut that the street is penciling in? Half of the respondents, which is 50%, believe that the rate cut going into 25 would be at least 50 basis points. So 50 to 75 basis points is what a lot of people are betting on. So that's the rate cut expectation going into 25. In fact, 24 was a very volatile year. We had a budget, we had general elections, multiple state elections, and so on and so on. But 25 could be a year of moderate returns, but the expectation is that the positive returns would continue going into 25 as well. That's the big poll from CNBC-TV18.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC-TV18 on all of our digital platforms.